Welcome to Pretty Smart 2. Today we're talking with Arielle Moody, co-founder of Mama Soul SPF, a family-owned brand creating non-toxic sunscreen that's good for families and the planet. Arielle shares how a psychic reading, mindful meditation, and a clear vision helped inspire the brand's creation. Let's dive in. Hi, Brandy. How are you?
Doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing just fine. I'm excited with our episode today.
I'm so excited.
Do you love sunscreen when you wear your sunscreen?
Never have until now.
Me either. It's one of the most important things that we can offer our clients, of course, the sunscreen, sun protection. We do all of this corrective work to their skin and, make people look beautiful. And then they just go out in the sun. Here it is summertime. And then they come back in the winter with all the damage kind of back again. Over the years, it's like, I don't blame people for not wanting to wear sunscreen. It's not fun to wear it. It's not fun to put it on. It's not that sensory journey the rest of our skincare products are. Until now, I was shocked
I know.
when I got this in the mail. So what do you think about the product that came to you?
Obsessed. I
Yeah.
love it. I have never, ever had sunscreen that is makeup that is the coverage is so good. And I love this is my favorite thing about this product is that it dries down like under your eyes. I don't really know if I'm saying that right. But so under my eyes is always a serious problem whenever I try to just wear sunscreen during the day because I wear mascara. And I find that every time I, blink or, just throughout the day as my eyes water, I'm left with raccoon eyes by the end of the day. And so that's why I never want to wear that. I'm like, I just don't like that. Like I've used a million in the past and I love the way they make my skin feel and all of those things. But that's my main concern is like at the end of the day, my eyes are just completely black, and especially being at facials and under steam and that sort of thing. And I have noticed with this one, I do not have that problem.
Well, I agree. I have really enjoyed it. And once our special guest comes on, Miss Arielle Moody, who is the creator of the product that we're speaking so highly about, Mama Soul, the non-toxic sun protection, she will go in further on why that is. The eyes not stinging, eyes not having the mascara raccoon eyes that we sometimes get with our SVFs. So I'm excited for her to join us. It looks like she's in the waiting room. So here we go. Hi, Arielle. How are
I'm
you?
great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for being a part of Pretty Smart 2 today. What made you decide to start your own product line?
Sure. So, when I was 5 months pregnant with my first son, I started researching ingredients to avoid when you're pregnant or nursing. And the list was so long, and I could not find a mineral sunscreen that I enjoyed using. So, being that I have 20 years of beauty industry experience, I decided to hire a chemist and create one on my own.
How do you go about finding a chemist? I've always wondered about that. When people say that they started their own lines, it's like, how do you find somebody to do that?
I'm a bit in a unique position than most because my background is in formula and packaging and sales and training, and all I've ever done. So I've actually worked directly with chemists throughout my career. So I actually just reached out to one of my colleagues and I said, "Do you have a list of some chemists you like?" And he gave me some, and I interviewed them, and then I picked the one I thought would be the best fit. What you can do if you are looking to start your own brand is just post an inquiry on LinkedIn and just say, "I'm looking for a cosmetic chemist." And I promise you'll get a bunch of people reaching out to you.
There's a lot of private label lines, and when people say they start their own line, now they're kind of putting their name on something that's already been created, and that's one way that people do that sort of thing. But I know with my research that I've done on your line that you spent many years creating this and finding the right fit for a chemist. And I think that that's so impressive.
Thank you.
I would like to say thank you because you did send us your product. And so we had the luxury of getting to experience your product, and I loved it. I loved it.
So glad to hear that.
Yes.
I am obsessed. It's wonderful.
Yes.
Thank
Thank
you
you so much
guys.
for doing that.
Thank you for pointing out, the difference between just slapping your label on something and then making it on your own. That's a huge difference. If anyone was interested in creating their own line, one thing to note is if you don't own your own formulas, and if, let's just say, down the road you wanted to sell your company, you wouldn't really have much to sell if you didn't own your formulas, since you're just slapping a label on it, right? That's just one reason. The other reason, of course, is I wanted to make it something that doesn't exist, and that's not possible unless you start from scratch. So yeah, thank you.
Now, when you say, you're making something that doesn't exist, that's very true. Brandy and I are both estheticians. We were just talking earlier about how we do all this correction on our clients throughout the year, and then summer comes. And the number one question that I'm always asked, and I'm sure Brandy, also every esthetician in the world is asked, what SPF do you recommend? I have, some SPFs that I think, okay, these are what I use. These are the products that I use. And I know they're not going to use them a lot of the times because the texture's not great or they're chemical sunscreens. And for like me, my eyes become very sensitive to chemical sunscreens. And I know many people have that issue. Brandy was just saying how she has that issue. And, so maybe they are using, but maybe they're not going close enough to their eyes with the product. Or maybe they're using a mineral sunscreen, but they can't blend it very well, because they don't blend well. And I want to applaud you because you have solved a huge problem. I was expecting to do a big blend with your product because it's zinc oxide and it did not turn white. As soon as it went on my skin, it blended beautifully.
Thank you.
So thank you very much for creating
Thank
this.
you. And I would, so your first question was, SPF wise, what do you recommend? I would recommend, first of all, anything SPF 30 and above. I mean, the FDA says 15 and above, but it's really SPF 30 and above is what I would recommend for your face. You mentioned stinging around the eyes with chemical sunscreen. So all of our formulas are 100% mineral formulations. And so I don't know if you know this, but my mom is a world-renowned ophthalmologist and eye surgeon, and she's one of our founders. And we have developed the formulas to be really comfortable to use around your eyes. I actually, with our SPF 30, it's called Facebrella. It's our untinted version because we have tinted. I'll go through the different ones we have. So the untinted, I put it all over my face, my eyes, everything. Never burns. I've done hot yoga wearing it, drips into my eyes, doesn't burn whatsoever. So yeah, we have solved that issue. In addition, like you said, it blends so seamlessly onto the skin. So one thing that I think a lot of SPF misses are getting the texture right. So I think the fact that we are kind of a skincare first, feel, and SPF is always like my number one thing. Whenever we create anything, it's, it has to be efficacious, but I want it to feel luxurious, and I want it to feel like your skincare. We also created it in like a really beautiful package in glass, right? So when it sits on your counter, you're going to be reminded to use it every day. You're not going to just, if you have banana boat sitting on your counter, you're probably going to keep it in a drawer and not use it. But if you have something that looks like your skincare and it's beautiful and sitting there, it will be, all right, I need to put that on today. So it's a few different things.
There's definitely a psychology behind it. And I did an unboxing video that we'll share. And I pointed that out when I opened it. It's glass.
Yes.
And you feel that luxury right off the bat.
Yes.
And it's beautiful. So yes, you want it sitting on your counter like your other nice high-end skincare products that you're using. So, and then when you put it on, it has a great relaxing, calming smell to it.
That was the other thing that I really disliked when I was trying, dozens of mineral sunscreens when I was, doing my research. Everything smelled like either like sunscreen or like coconuts. I could not find something that smelled, like the spa, for example, right? So one of our taglines is, if sunscreen and a spa day had a baby. So we formulate with a subtle hint of lavender essential oil, and is real lavender. Like, it smells like the actual plant. It's real. It's not a fake fragrance. And so when you're using it, you are encouraged. I encourage you to take a deep breath with each use. I'm a busy mom of two. And when I'm getting ready in the morning, I truly take this time when I'm putting this on to remind myself to take a breath, because we forget, we're busy. So this is your wellness moment. And then in addition, because we're talking about the spa, we're sold in over 100 high-end spas and resorts. We are the top choice for 4 seasons. We're in Fairmont hotels. We're in, all bearish hotels and Montage, Canyon Ranch. I mean, you name it, and we're in there, or we're in talks with them.
That luxury check mark is definitely buy this product. It just is. It's amazing to be able to end a facial with that aromatherapy from their sunscreen, and they know that that's coming from their sunscreen, is huge. Yep. That is so.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for doing that.
We actually also. Thank you. We actually also just launched our tints, our face Brella tints, and then because we were talking about eye, I just wanted to mention we also have something called Eyebrella. And this is essentially your SPF and your concealer in one. And it's also your eye treatment. So this is also another great way to end a facial because some women don't like leaving a facial with nothing on their skin. So I recommend you use an untinted version first. Then you put on the tint on top and then the Eyebrella. And the reason I suggest layering is because most people do not apply enough sunscreen with their makeup because they don't want to look like they have caked on makeup. So they're using like a little, one pump instead of 2 or 3 pumps, right? So we have a layering effect for a reason. And then you can top it off with a little tinted lip oil, and then you're like all ready to go.
Perfect. And fully protected.
That we just launched SPF 45, and the face tints have a PA rating of 4 pluses. So if you don't know what a PA rating is, it's actually how well your formula or the sunscreen protects you from UVA rays. And UVA rays are what is going to cause premature, aging and potentially cancer. So we have the highest rating you can get.
That's great. That's wonderful. Yeah, people don't always understand that. Like the UVB rays cause the burning. And so just because you're not burning doesn't mean that you're not getting that cellular damage. So super important to make sure that you do have that UVA protection, the PA protection for sure. So thank you so much for doing that. And also your formula is just clean as it can be. Would you like to share a little information on what all is in your product and why that's important?
Sure. So we only use zinc oxide as our active ingredient, which, if for those of you who don't know, mineral sunscreen sits on top of your skin like a physical shield and it physically reflects the UV rays, whereas chemical sunscreen absorbs into the skin and it is more likely to enter the bloodstream than a zinc based sunscreen that sits on top. So, that's why it's recommended for people with sensitive skin or if you're pregnant or nursing, which is how I started the line in general. In addition, we are silicone free. So silicones can clog your pores and they're not biodegradable. You will have a whole lot of trouble finding a sunscreen that doesn't have silicone in the market today. It's very hard to formulate this, which is why it took us 5 years to create the first formula because it truly had not been done before when we started. My research started in 2017. So again, we're sustainable and we want the best ingredients that are going to go onto your skin. And then, of course, we're vegan, we're cruelty free, and we use really nourishing ingredients like green tea extract, arnica montana flower, kakadu plum. We have just we actually have a page devoted just to our ingredients on our website because we believe in full transparency. So if you go to shopmamasoul.com and you click on ingredients, it will list each product that we sell and a list of every single ingredient and why it's in there and what it does.
There are some toxic ingredients, unfortunately, in many, many, many sunscreens, even in some mineral sunscreens that are out on the market, which just blows my mind. People think that they're buying something to put on their body that's going to be good for them, and then it really isn't. Some of those ingredients are not only toxic to human beings, but then also damaging to our coral reef. And being here in California, I hear a lot about that. And you've made your product where it's safe for our coral reefs also, which thank you for that as well.
In California as well. So I have the same motives as you.
I have it on right now, so I love it. It makes me just so glowy, and it's all that I have on. I have my moisturizer, and then I have that on over it. And I did do the tinted sunbrella, and I went with the shade light, and I really love it. It matches perfect, blends so well. My favorite thing is that the other sunscreens that I've been using just keep me very oily underneath the eye area. And so by the end of the day, just have, raccoon eyes. And so I didn't like that. And so, like you said, if you don't like something about a product, you're not going to keep using it. And then, like Laura, whenever I was unboxing, and I did a video as well, as soon as I saw the glass, luxurious bottle, and then I did and it has pump. Oh my gosh, that's like life changing. I love to have a pump because nobody wants to have to squeeze. And anyway, so yes, it is a very lovely product. And I also have on the lip brella as well over my lip liner. So I really love the lip oil as well.
Thank you. Yeah, people forget to protect their lips. I'm going to say the two places that people really forget are their lips and their eyelids. So I found my mom, as I mentioned, is a world-renowned eye surgeon, and a study just recently came up, and she said this was before we launched the eyebrow. 10% of skin cancer can be found on the eyelids in between your lashes. And so people are forgetting to protect their eyelids. So our eyebrow can go on top of the eyelid. And then same with our lip. People are getting cancers on their lips as well. So we wanted to come out with our lip brella, which is our 100% mineral tinted lip oil. It has SPF 20 and it protects you from UVA and UVB rays. But the really great thing about it, and tell me if I'm wrong, it has no sunscreen taste, right?
No, none whatsoever. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
not,
great.
and
And
it's not sticky, right?
it's not sticky. That's what I was looking for. I was like, how do I say this? Because it's not drying, but it does dry on the lip instead of leaving sticky or like getting all over your teeth.
Yeah,
So
we
yeah, I love
we
it.
call it the love child of a lip balm and a lip gloss.
Oh, I like
Yes.
that.
Yeah, perfect. That's exactly
Yes.
what it is.
We're also launched. So we had a body sunscreen, but I decided to reformulate it, and we're gonna be relaunching by the end of the year. But you mentioned you like pumps, so this is going to be in a tube with a pump as well. Because I agree with you, I love pumps.
Okay. Yeah. I feel like there's just no wasted product as there is when you're trying to squeeze it out. And then I hate a spray. The spray to me, it just feels like you're wasting so much product in the air.
Well, dermatologists say that that's the least effective form of sunscreen is a spray. So I get asked all the time, "Are you going to launch a spray?" And I'm like, maybe as a topper, right? I'm never going to promote the spray as your go-to for sunscreen protection because lotions really are the number one way to protect yourself.
Wonderful. And I thank you so much for sending us some testers. And I will be getting with you soon to carry this line in my spa. And like Laura
Ooh,
said, we
would
do
love
that
that.
every sort. Yeah, I'm overlooking the pool right now, and I'm thinking about all of these people that I talk to daily. So yes, I will definitely be spreading the word about Mama Soul.
Oh, well, I love that. Thank you.
Speaking of building a team, Brandy and I worked together when I lived in Arkansas. We found each other and have just became best friends. We work together still, even though we don't live in the same state. And I know that I heard in a couple of previous podcasts that you've done about your co-founder and how you really get friends and so the importance of that bond and how you're both mothers and then your mother is also
Yeah.
involved in this
My sister
project.
too.
I love that it's a female driven company and that you're mothers and that you're doing good for Mother Earth also.
Not only is glass better for the earth, but it's better for you because people don't think about the microplastics that are in their formulas that are housed in plastic. So I really wanted to make a concerted effort to mitigate that because microplastics are one of the number one reasons why your hormones are out of balance. So we really want, and then when we launch our body sunscreen, which our previous formula as well is in 100% sugarcane. So I'm really trying to reduce, petrochemicals from entering in the formula and then going right onto the skin.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. That's super, super important and wonderful. And, it's like we do all these good things. We, eat organic and, try to be healthy and not put other bad things into our body. And then, the last thing we need to do, our biggest protection for our entire body is our skin. And then we're going to put a chemical on our skin. It makes no sense. So,
exactly.
yeah, this is absolutely perfect. Absolutely love that.
Thank you.
Something super interesting that Brandy and I both found very fascinating is how you were speaking with a psychic advisor about your life and how did that influence the beginning of Mama Soul?
Which psychic reading? I'm just kidding. I've had so many, guys. But I know which one I know which one you're talking about. So when I was thinking about starting my own business, I had actually my first idea was to create a makeup line because I actually started my whole career out as a makeup artist. And so I thought that that's what I was going to do. So I have the psychic reading. She's absolutely incredible. And whenever I tell this story, everyone's like, can I have her number? So she says to me, you're going to create a successful clean skincare brand like the Honest Company. These were her exact words. I said, what? I was like, I'm making a makeup line. What are you talking about? She's like, no, you're going to be making a skincare brand. And I see you on Access Hollywood and I see you selling it on TV. She started listing all these things. So 3 weeks after we launched, we were featured on Access Hollywood, completely organic. Then QVC happened this year. So I guess that's what she's talking about.
Wow.
And this is what I will say. It did not influence my decision to start this line. But when I did think of creating this line, it made me feel that much more aligned in what I was going to do. That's what I would say it did. It was really cool.
Cool. That's super cool. I'm guessing that you probably manifest things, or do you believe in that sort of energy work?
Do manifestation, meditation, breath work every single day.
Yeah. This month, we've been doing interviews with lots of different people. And the one thing that everyone has in common that has started their own line, is a very successful author or whatever it is, it's they manifest, they knew that they were going to do it before they did it. So that is, I mean, obviously the power of positive thinking is super important, and help create this line. That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
I would call that leading in your feminine. When you lead with intention and spirituality and manifestation, that whole world is definitely like more of your feminine. Where I, for a long time, was like in my masculine. I would say like the last 3 years, I've been heavily leading in my feminine, which is, I journal. I do visualization meditation where I visualize how I want to feel. I journal about what, not the specific outcome necessarily, but how I want to feel if something were to happen. I can share so many things. Like that's a whole nother conversation if you ever want me to come back on. But
Yeah.
I have manifested so many things in my life that are truly unexplainable the way that it's happened. And, all I will say is that your mind is so powerful. And if you can really try to train your brain to, when you start, like something I just learned actually that I really loved was somebody said to me that the best advice they ever got from this billionaire was every time something doesn't go your way, think of 3 things that are good because it went the way it did. And I started doing that and it really helped me. Like I was like, "Oh my God, like I'm so grateful that that didn't happen because I ended up getting a direct flight." If, for example, my flight was I had a connecting flight. The first leg was delayed. I was going to miss my connection, but then it got me to another airport that got me a direct flight back east. So instead of being really annoyed about that, I instead was like, "Oh, that's nice. I don't have to do a connecting flight. I have a direct flight. I can sleep on it. I can get work done, whatever I needed to do." So it's really just about changing your mindset. If you don't feel aligned in your life and things start going like wrong, that to me is your guides telling you you are not aligned. You need to make a change. If things are flowing in naturally, that means that you are aligned, that you're surrounding yourself with the right people, that you are on your path, the right path. One of the books that really helped me to get started in my whole manifestation journey is called Infinite Possibilities by Mike Dooley. And it really it was kind of a life-changing book. It's what turned my whole world upside down. And I was like, I am the creator of my life, no one else. And so this really teaches you the skills. And like, I read it in less than a week. I mean, it's a page turner because you want to change, if you want to change your life. Right. And so there's tools though, like for anyone listening that is like, I don't know how to manifest anything. You're manifesting every day, by the way. But if they're like, I don't know where to start, I think that just doing a guided meditation with Joe Dispenza, that's one of my favorite ones to listen to. And then if you're going through a really hard time, for example, and you feel like all your emotions are at the top of your chest or like you just can't even breathe, breath work is one of the best tools and it can release so much negativity and toxic energy out of your body. And every time after I do a breath work session, something magical happens in like 24 hours. And I'm not even kidding. And so if you don't know how to do breath work, there's an app called Pause that I use by Samantha Skelly. I had the privilege of meeting her and she's just amazing. And they have little, 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 45-minute sessions. You can choose how much time you want to devote to this. But if you really want to make a change in your life, these are the tools to help you get.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love that. Brandy offers sound bath therapy at her
Love
spa.
that.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm moving back to Arkansas the end of this week. And I can't wait to go and visit Brandy's spa so I can have some of
I'm
these
so ready.
services.
You're moving back, you said?
I am. Yes, my husband got a job back that way. So we're going to head back to Arkansas, which we're super excited
Good. You'll
about.
be reunited.
It's Yes, yeah, very positive
Yes.
things. One of our favorite things to do together with our girlfriends, we go, and you'll appreciate this, we go on crystal hunts in Arkansas. So Arkansas is the natural state.
Cool.
And we have our favorite hillside that we like to go to, and we dig up crystals for their energy. Is just absolutely
I
amazing.
love that. One thing I did on New Year's Eve was create a vision board. And half my vision board has already come true. So it's really cool to see. But one thing I
Wow.
will say that if like, because I don't know if you guys, maybe you guys should have like a little vision board making party when you guys get together.
We should. Yeah.
But one thing I did that was so different than any other time I've ever done a vision board before was that same night when I completed it, because I had prepared what I wanted to put on a vision board that day so that I could just get it done in one day. Because I'm telling you, I've done it over a span of time and it doesn't work. You never finish it. But what I really like, what I did was I actually put some meditation music on and I started meditating on the vision board and I started envisioning how I would feel if all these things actually came true and happen. And that's what was more powerful probably than anything else I've done when I've done a board.
We will definitely have to take that advice and do that.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
All these tools are so important. And we can link those books that you spoke about
Yeah.
and your apps below so people will know where to go to find these. Brandy talked about wholesaling your product. Is that something that the estheticians out there listening can reach out to you?
Absolutely legit. You just you can reach out to me if you want. You guys, if you want to share my info with anybody that reaches out to you, that's fine too. But you can write in on our website and just say that you're interested in carrying our line, and we will get back to you very quickly and send you all the pricing and get you samples if you want to try it. We are pretty generous about that. So if you need to try, want to try a full size sample for your spa, just reach out and let us know. And I also want to give everyone listening a discount code because I would love anybody, if anybody is curious or wants to try it, you can actually just type in Pretty Smart 15.
Wonderful.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for being on our show today and for sharing all of your knowledge. And I'm going to definitely look into those apps and read that book because,
Yeah.
man, I'm
Me
on
too.
my positive journey for sure.
And we want to have you back for sure. We definitely will invite you back. We can talk about your newfound success because I'm sure it's just going to blow up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very nice to meet you. And thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having
Yes,
me.
thank you so much. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.